The woman casually waved her hand, and various ingredients from the market instantly appeared in her home. She skillfully cracked eggs and prepared the dishes for lunch, even steaming a pot of hot buns. When her husband and his family returned from a hard day's work in the fields, they were stunned to see the rich spread on the table. After all, the woman was famously known as the lazy daughter-in-law in the surrounding villages. This meal made her seem entirely different. "Did you really make all this?" her husband asked, still in disbelief. "Yes, I bought the ribs from the market specifically," she replied. "Could there be some kind of scheme behind this?" her sister-in-law remarked. However, the aroma was irresistible, and she couldn't help but take a bold bite. To her surprise, it was incredibly delicious. Soon, the whole family began eating, enjoying this unexpected feast. It turned out that the woman was originally a homebody from the 21st century. One day, she accidentally fell and hit her head on a table. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself transmigrated into a novel, becoming the male protagonist's cruel ex-wife. At this point in the story, her husband's family was about to head to the countryside, and the original character had been insisting on an abortion and divorce. The woman, seeing how handsome her husband was, didn't want to follow the original character's path, so she decided to apologize to him, admitting that she had been acting out of temper. However, her husband shook off her hand coldly and said, "Since we've agreed to divorce, I won't change my mind." But the woman wasn't going to give up on her handsome husband so easily. She took his hand and placed it on her belly, saying that she wouldn't have an abortion. Her husband, surprised, noticed how she had completely changed overnight. At this moment, her mother-in-law knocked on the door, calling them to dinner. The woman took the bowl of food from her and said, "Thank you." Her sister-in-law, astonished, said, "The sun must be rising in the west today. You're being so kind." The woman explained that it was her own fault before, causing a misunderstanding. She assured them she wasn't going to have an abortion. The mother-in-law was very happy and handed over all the family's money and belongings, saying they would go to the countryside the next day, and the woman would have to manage things at home. Her father-in-law added that if she didn't want the baby after it was born, she could contact his friend. Her sister-in-law, worried that the woman might deceive them, made her swear in front of them that she wouldn't run away with their money. The woman, however, said, "No need to swear. I'm going with all of you to the countryside. We are a family, and we should be together." It turned out that the husband was worried because the woman was so used to being chauffeured to and from shopping that he didn't think she could handle the hardships of the countryside. He feared she might change her mind. But the woman assured him that she wasn't afraid of the hardship. What she feared was being separated from him. Her husband, deeply moved, agreed. Before leaving, the woman noticed the frame commemorating the original character's mother, who had died heroically while fighting a fire. It seemed a little old, so she thought of taking it apart. However, when she did, she accidentally cut her finger, and a jade pendant inside fell out. Curious, she touched it and suddenly found herself in a personal space with a magical spring of water. To her delight, she realized she not only had money but also space. She could buy all the things they would need before heading to the countryside. The next day, she sent her husband and his family to the train station first, saying she had some things to take care of. Her sister-in-law still suspected she might run off with the money, but the woman went to the market, buying skincare products, eggs, pork, fruit, and other items. She stored everything in the space. By the time her husband's family reached the train station,